Get to see every angle, get to hear all every people's point of views, and the chat gets to have fun, and I get to stay safe.
Yeah, I've gone 5 nights the first week of protest.
So it looks like I'm back up. Can you guys see me? I don't see anybody in the chat right now.
I create a lot of mixed emotions on my end. Yeah. This is my hometown and stuff. Right. And I like to see the division.
You're back. Thank you. Yeah, my battery died, guys. Sorry, I saw it at 20%, but then I got running my mouth so much I forgot to plug the battery up. But I'm back. How many? Did anybody see how many streamers or any viewers were in here before it shut down, and how many are now?
Directly with the nonviolent calls, how the faces kind of in proximity in case they need that kind of stuff.
I want to come and talk to you for a second, man. So what was your name?
Quincy Anatello.
Quincy Anatello?
I'm with Common Sense Conservative.
Okay. Yeah. So I don't even know what's all true with you guys. Are you and Joey Gibson part of the Proud Boys?
I'm not part of the Proud Boys.
Yeah.
Do I know them? Yeah.
Yeah. I've never even looked into that stuff so much, so I just wonder what.
I know some. I should say I know some of the Proud Boys.
Yeah. So I don't even know if that group is like the evil people they say they are, or they're just what Gavin McInnes said they are. So I don't even know much about them.
I've had a few of them in my home. I'm black, I'm mixed and white.
Uh-huh.
My wife's black, my children are black.
Uh-huh.
So we can debunk that narrative that they're a racist group.
Okay.
At least the ones that I have had in my home.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to say. Everybody, even Antifa, they try to make Antifa out to be just one group, you know?
Right.
But there's different factions in every group,
it's
right?
It's funny because there's actually an Antifa that lives in my apartment complex, and we actually had a dialogue like a couple days ago.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And that was kind of an interesting conversation. But outside of the Proud Boys, I can't really speak outside of the ones that I've had personal relationships.
I just need to know. So, what is your group?
My group?
Yeah.
As far as what?
You just named an organization you were involved in? I didn't. What was that?
Oh, I said Common Sense Conservative.
Oh, okay.
That's live streaming.
Oh, that's just your thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
So you're just like a standalone.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool.
So.
What have you been trying to do? I've seen videos where you're in events and in the background. I think I've seen videos of maybe you speaking. I don't know. But I recognize your face, obviously.
I've spoken, and primarily, first and foremost, I am a man of God. I'll just be honest.
I see your Jesus hat on.
Amen.
Yeah.
I'm born again. I'm saved. I believe the Bible to be absolute truth. I heard what you had to say.
Yeah.
I respect that. So first and foremost, I do street preach. And that's probably why, Antifa or a lot of liberals or what, however you want to say it, have a hate of me. And I think a lot of hate that came upon Joey personally had to do with me and some of the street preachers personally. I believe it.
Yeah. I haven't followed it too much. I barely know anything about him or you. I've just seen you guys a little bit online.
Yeah.
I obviously recognize your face, so just curious who you were. Can I ask you about the street preaching? Did you come from a prison background?
No.
Most of the street preachers that I see, they claim that they're being like accosted on the street or whatever, are very aggressive, uncouth people, and a lot of them are ex-cons, and they're just out there to provoke people.
Right.
So every time I hear someone say they're a street preacher, I think of that in the back of my mind, But that's why I ask,
Yeah.
To see
I've lived here all my life.
Yeah.
All my life I've lived. So I'm a native. I'm a true native. I've seen the whole change, the gentrification, the whole neighborhood of North Portland, Northeast Portland, the Bloods and Crips. I've seen it all. And I actually used to probably be more on the left side as I was an old DJ on some of the most well-known radio stations here in Portland.
Oh, yeah? Wow.
I DJ'd for the Blazers. I've DJ'd for private parties of the Trailblazers.
Oh, wow.
I've had Akon come to my own birthday party.
Oh, yeah?
So
that's crazy.
I used to talk to Exhibit on the telephone, and I'm not boasting or
No, you're just giving your story,
I've been, in my life, so.
No, is it all right if I ask you a couple questions about your faith?
Sure.
So I grew up kind of in a volatile single home Christianity, like born again, go to church, not go to church, like go to this church, go to that church. And then in my teens, I got really religious myself for some personal pains and depressions in my life. And then quite a while ago, I went to Bible college. I was going to try to become a pastor, and I ended up losing my faith at my Bible college because I came to the point where I realized that had all these answers to questions that I had never actually answered, you know, or I never asked. So I had answers to questions that I had never asked.
Okay.
So I believed that
So
Jesus.
more just trained and you're just regurgitating.
Yeah, kind of. So I believed that Jesus was God, but I'd never asked any of that, you know? It just was something I was handed, and then I really tried to get to the bottom of it, and I didn't really see a solid foundation there, and I realized that I just honestly didn't, the crux of it is I haven't found a reason to logically believe in the resurrection. And it kind of hinges on that, right, you know? And and usually...
I'll let you finish.
So I was going to ask you what kind of Christian you are. Are you like a creationist or fundamentalist or liberal Christian? And then why do you believe, if you do, why do you believe the resurrection?
I'm just Bible believing.
Okay.
I think that's what's caused a lot of Baptists, Presbyterian, Pentecostals, all these different denominations, because you have to get baptized. You know, you have to be submerged in water. You have to speak in tongues.
Yeah.
You know, all these different sects of Christianity. They're like, let's just stick to the Bible, and then, because the Bible talks about rightly dividing the word of truth. Then we got to think about time periods and who Jesus was speaking to, and what was going on, the circumstance, what was going on here, who went to the Gentiles, who wasn't supposed to go to the Gentiles. You know, so all these type of things. So I just more try to, my best, to stick to the Bible and be taught by other men, but then go do my own research.
Yeah.
You know.
So I believe in God. You can't shake me from that. I've never been shaken from that, but it's kind of an abstract concept to some point. But I can argue that against the hardest atheist with philosophy and through the natural laws and nature. I think it's obvious for anybody that's willing to admit that. From my perspective, it seems that way. I think it talks about that in Romans 1, where the invisible attributes of his visual attributes of the Creator are seen in creation. I'm paraphrasing horribly, but
So resurrection.
So it comes down to the resurrection for me, you know. Like I believe in God, and I believe that the Bible is very valuable. There's a lot of wisdom and philosophy in there that's just gold. And I believe that the character of Jesus described in the Bible and the things that is written that He said, I like all that, most of it. There's not something I don't like. I just don't have it all encompassed. But my question is, but is it true, you know? Is that just philosophy, or was that a literal event? And I have not found reason to believe that it was a literal event.
How come, why don't you believe it? Because I'm saying that because you're believing a lot of stuff in Scripture.
Philosophically, you're asking me to give a reason for a lack of belief, but I believe that there's only a reason for belief. I also don't believe, to use Richard Dawkins' sensational language, and it's kind of offensive to some people, but I don't believe in the flying spaghetti monster, and I don't have to have a reason for that. I've never been convinced of that. The Jehovah's Witnesses didn't convince me to believe in their God. The Mormons didn't convince me to believe in their God. So I just lack a belief, you know. I don't think it's a ridiculous claim. I don't think it's ludicrous. I just have not found it to be true. There's that saying that extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. And I have not seen evidence that satisfies that curiosity in my heart that makes me believe that was an actual event in reality.
So you're looking for the evidence to back up.
Yeah, it's a fact claim. It's a fact claim. They say God became Jesus. He lived at this part of the earth during this time period. He did these things. Those are all finite fact claims. So the claim that God exists, or that there's meaning to the universe, or that the universe is good, are abstract claims, and they're not concrete, finite fact claims. And I think abstract evidence is valid for abstract claims. But the fact claims in the Bible, of the resurrection specifically, are finite factual claims, which require, in my opinion, finite evidence to support, and I have not found those.
I can't back that up, as far as what you're, I guess, looking for, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Because I know Jesus tells us it's about faith, to have faith.
Yeah.
Have I seen the tomb? Did I witness it myself? No, I didn't either. So
one thing I've noticed is
there was 500 accounts. If we can believe the Word of God and believe that part, that there was 500.
For me, that gets all kind of circular, because like you're saying the Bible says this, and why it's true is because the Bible said it, and that's true because the Bible said it. So it gets kind of circular for me. But I will give you this: some Christians the people in my life that seem to me to genuinely believe that Jesus rose from the dead and also live their lives in accordance to that belief that they claim, seem that belief that they hold, whether it's true or not true, it bears fruit in their life. And then the New Testament says you shall know them by their fruits. So I see that, but when I was a Christian, I was fundamentalist, like going down that road where you consent to say you believe things that don't make logical sense leads me to behaviors in my own self that didn't make logical sense. I remember one time when I was really, really young, and I guess you would call me a Jesus freak at the time. There was a guy having some like liver, I think it might have been a cancer issue, and he was real ill. I put my hand on his belly and I prayed that his illness would go away. And I believed, the Bible says that if you believe and you do that stuff. And so I did that stuff.
Yeah, I was just talking to buddies the other day about this, and I have a polo group always talking about this.
I not only shamed him, but I shamed myself, and it made me confused, like why this says like if you do that and you believe it, it's supposed to happen, and so my irrational beliefs were making me do irrational behaviors, and I want to stay away from that.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that probably definitely affected you or your belief or wherever you're at in your life, because why didn't this happen?
Yeah, that's one of those events,
Yeah.
There's a lot of those events, where I realized like I'm holding these beliefs that I wouldn't rationally, like if I were to get on the city bus and there was a gentleman that looked like Jesus or looked like anybody and told me that he had resurrected from the dead, I would scooch away from him a little bit, And so like why are we so reasonably skeptical of extraordinary claims in our daily life, but then people will take these fact claims in different religions as though they're truth without any skepticism, where if those things happened in your daily life, you would react to them completely differently. So there's this logic gap from my perspective there,
Right. Well, then again, you got to think about if God is God, like you said, using Romans 1, the evidence, then you'd have, logically, well, if he wanted to do it, if he wanted to bring you back to life.
True, I have no problem. I have no problem thinking it was ludicrous or stupid. I find the claim that Jesus Christ rose from the dead to be far more of a less difficult phenomena than the fact that we are conscious, the fact that anything exists rather than nothing exists, the fact that love exists and we experience love, the fact that so there's three, that's good ones. Those are just three situations that I find far more complex and unexplainable than the claim of a resurrection from the dead. Like if mankind keeps advancing technology, it's not too far of a science fiction claim that we would be able to resurrect people from their DNA or their remains. Like that's a science fiction thought that is much less of a confusing idea than why are we conscious or why do we exist, So I don't think, I'm not asking, can that happen? Or like, that doesn't seem like that can happen. I'm just saying, okay, that's a claim, but is it true? Because you reference what I referenced, the claim in Revelations, and I speak to that truth that I find there. But give me just a second.
It's all right.
So I see those things in there. And that's just philosophy and wisdom, and there's no really leap of faith and a leaving behind of rationality. I see those as very logical beliefs, and I as I said, I have a very solid built-up foundation of philosophy and wisdom to stand for those. But when I see things like a claim of the resurrection, I don't see a logical foundation base there. So my question is that ludicrous, or can that happen? Sure, that's easy. It could happen. Big whoop. That's an easy claim. I believe in God, so God can do anything. That's a small thing to get over. My question is, but did it happen? But is it true? And I ask the same things to the Islam. Like there's a story in Islam where Muhammad got on a Pegasus and flew to the moon and chopped the moon in half. And that sounds like, from our perspective, like that would just be an allegory or just a myth, But I have talked to at least one Muslim man that literally believed that was a true story. And he came back at me like, you guys believe in the Bible and stuff. He thought I was a Christian just because I was a Western white man. But I was like, no, I don't believe those extraordinary stories. And I was actually flabbergasted that he believed. But every religion's got those things, just like ours. They're mythology. And I don't know that if it's from my perspective, it doesn't seem wise to treat mythology as anything more than lessons in wisdom and philosophy in there. I think things start to get really weird when we start taking all that literally. Like you get people that are saying that the dinosaurs were here like 5,000 years ago and that like Adam rode around on them and stuff. Like I know that's an extreme view, but there are Christians that hold those views. Like Kent Hovind in the Dinosaur Museum, you know? Yeah. So I spit at you, that's probably like an essay back and forth, you know, not like a real-time conversation, you know, something you think about, you know. So I'd like to keep a dialogue with you. Maybe sometime you think about that and give me back with your thought, you know. Because like honestly, if somebody like you could convince me that it was rational and that was true, it's not that I'm rejecting something that I believe it's true and I just don't want it because I want to go do bad things.
Right.
I honestly don't believe it's true. And I've quoted this on my stream before, but C.S. Lewis says in Mere Christianity, the man that comes to the conclusion that he honestly does not believe and he walks away from the truth is much closer to the heart of God than the man that does not believe but keeps going through the motions in church. So I honestly don't believe that happened.
I believe a lot of people do go through the emotions in church.
Yeah.
Because it feels good.
But sign me up, man. If that stuff's real, I want to be part. You know.
Right.
But I just don't believe it.
One thing I want to say,
but that part you don't believe. Is that really like the crutch right there?
Well, there's a bunch of extraordinary claims in the Bible that are held as literal events. Like I don't believe that the Garden of Eden, the snake and the tree is a literal event there. I think it's a poem, a mythology, it's a symbolism. You know.
Just like an allegory, like you're saying.
Right. I've heard there's some things out there that I've heard that would make more sense, logical, regarding that topic.
Yeah, it gets pretty dicey.
The Epic of Gilgamesh is actually an older great flood story.
Yeah.
It's Sumerian.
It's Sumerian stories.
We have our known recorded history, and who knows where these things actually stem from, and where they're borrowed, or which ones were original.
But I think Nietzsche was right. Everybody thinks Nietzsche was this like evil atheist trying to destroy the world with his ideas, but he came to the conclusion that Western man had come to a point where the structures of the mental beliefs that they held in Christianity could no longer be in congruence with the advanced knowledge of the Enlightenment and the increased leisure time for them to learn and looking at things. So basically, he was describing this world that outgrew the mythology of Christianity because it didn't match their rationality anymore. And they always quote that quote that says, God is dead, but they don't finish the quote. And he says, and we will never be able to wash, something along the lines, we will never be able to wash the blood from our hands. And he was describing that as not an achievement or a triumph. He was describing it as a tragedy, and that it was going to bring about, he predicted the wars that were going to happen in the 20th century, and hundreds of millions of people were died. He also believed that we were supposed to, depending on how you interpret him, I don't know if that's the right interpretation, I'm still digging in that stuff, but the Uberman is basically the idea that we need to become our own gods, which completely goes against the Bible and the reference of Romans 1, what we're talking about. So I'm paraphrasing horribly, for they forsake the image of the Creator and started worshiping images like beast and man, and they became inverted, you know?
You're making me hot, man. He's hot.
Oh, I mentioned that.
I keep looking at you. I'm just like, oh my gosh.
You guys, it was a bad day for Black Bloc. It's probably 80 degrees out here right now.
They're off in the shade. I saw this.
These guys both have beads of sweat pouring off of them.
And I'm like, my head's sweating.
Oh yeah.
Like, covered.
Yeah.
One thing I want to say, like where you're talking about like the supernatural stuff and the Bible and stuff. I've always been raised as a Christian. Like for a long time, I studied like Zen Buddhism and stuff. And as far as like how to control yourself, self-control on a spiritual level, I really believe in that, but I also believe in my Christian upbringings. But where it is for me, and I also have a philosophy degree and stuff, so I try to be rational about it. To me, Jesus resonates with me on a level as far as his views and his like, you know, love your brother as thyself and that kind of thing, and bringing his paradigm really resonates with me. His miracles don't really mean much to me because I can't verify if they actually happen or not.
Yeah.
So but when I see the thing, how he interacted with people and the message that he had and bringing people together, that resonates with me, and so I like the value of his paradigm and trying to live by that.
And with that,
that's the most important thing, I think. It's not cheering for, oh my God, it resurrected people or resurrected himself and stuff, and what did your God do? It's not. It's about being on the right page of humanity to bring people together and actual synergy in humanity. You know. That's what I think.
And a lot of it, the Bible does come down to faith. It does. I mean, at the end of the day, it comes down to believing and not, because we're not going to be able to experience everything that was written in Scripture.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to experience. Am I going to be able to see somebody raised from the dead? I doubt it. But does that take away me not believing that it happened?
Yeah.
No, it don't.
Nor will you say it's impossible.
Right. Nor will I say it's
experienced
impossible.
it.
You know, I just haven't experienced it. Can I believe it? Well, that's where the faith comes into play. Yes, I have to believe it. If I want to call myself a believer of Jesus Christ, a believer of God, I have to believe it. And later, if I'm wrong, okay, I'm wrong. But what's the worst that's going to happen to me? At least I'm not going to end up in that place that probably none of us want to go to.
Maybe, I don't know. That's an argument that Christians make a lot of times, but what if the flying spaghetti monster is real and you're going to be damned, dude? You didn't pay homage to him, you know? Or what if Thor is real and you were supposed to go about your life living Norse mythology out in your actions, you know? So that argument doesn't, that's what's Pascal's wager? You know, that doesn't make sense to me because there are other belief systems. If that was the only belief system of God, that seems like it would make sense to me. But it's that idea of if you got a boat to get in to save from the flood, you might as well get in the boat because what's the worst that can happen? But that's just one thing that you're looking at. There's ever a bunch of factors in life. I'm not meaning to grill everything you say, dude, but you know, I'm coming at you pretty hot right now.
Questioning stuff.
Yeah.
So not more stuff.
Yeah.
But it gives me food for thought for pushing what I know. Because
So-
I only want to know the truth.
Yeah.
And then
It's
a lot
like,
of it, but a lot of it has to do.
Truth is a process of refinement and challenging it. And challenging it with people that don't feel threatened, like I'm trying to destroy your belief system.
Yeah.
We're trying to actually have a discussion. That's what's.
But sometimes,
so
man,
a lot of people can't
when we
do
get in these conversations where we're talking about existential meaning and the foundation of our belief system and how we understand reality, even when it's cordial, man, you're chipping away at each other's like framework that helps you stay sane, you know. And so sometimes these conversations can be pretty taxing on the psyche.
Well, they can, but I mean, the change. I mean, I've gone through different doctrinal beliefs.
Yeah.
You know, like you said, you started off saying that you grew up in church, you used to be a Christian.
Oh yeah, I was a creationist.
So there's doctrines out there that say once saved, always eternal security. Then there's doctrines that say, well, a person like you lost your salvation. You know, you can lose your salvation. You was never born again. You were never a Christian because.
Yeah, that's a question I have for different people. Like, am I an apostate or am I a person that was never saved? You know.
Right. But now let's go to another area where you're talking about the healings and that Jesus performed versus you seeing them today.
Yeah.
There's dispensation. Different time periods. What were things? You had the law, you had grace, you have, and now a whole different time period.
I understand there's a whole theology behind dispensation and it's a well thought out thing, but I don't think that rational paths are always true. They're just like rationality can sometimes just be a tool and people can like build a tool for something that's not true. So when I look at the dispensationalism, honestly, what I hear when I hear that is like, that's very convenient. You know?
I get you.
Yeah. So just being honest, you know.
Yeah.
Like, so my big thing is.
It fits you because.
Yeah. So my big thing is I value truth. You know, I want to know what's truth, and I want to get near the heart of God. What I really think that I've tried to boil down to what I can say that I believe about God. You know, without lying, without claiming to believe something I don't believe. I believe God is meaning. So every human that's honest with you, that I think, that's my perspective, every human has this desire for meaning in their heart. And I believe that when you really define meaning, when you get down to it and you define God to people, people are like worshiping the like ideas, the aliens coming or whatever, or people are worshiping this religion or that, or people are atheistic and they're worshiping their intellect and their their rationality. If you really listen to them and try to get past the language and listen to what they're trying to express, they all seem to be describing the same thing, and I can call that meaning, or I can call that God, and it seems to be the same. So,
but they have a different name attached to it, and so they don't
different ideas, different images, all kinds of stuff. But I believe that that's another evidence that I could argue for God. The universal desire within the heart of man for meaning is I claim evidence for meaning. So there's no desire in the heart of man that doesn't have its counterpart that can quench it. Some things are multifaceted, like Santa Claus. You know, if somebody wants Santa Claus, okay, there's no Santa Claus, but there are presents, there are goodwill, there are kindness, there are traditions, there are all kind of the different components of Santa Claus that are real and can be satisfied. And so the only desire within the human heart that some people claim that can't be met is the desire for meaning or the desire for God. But I say that if all the other desires have their counterpart that can quench the desire, then that is as evidence that desires have their counterpart in general. And I believe that that's the desire for meaning, the desire for God is evidence of God. And I think that's valid evidence.
I think it's interesting, like, have you heard like Atman versus Brahman, like some of the Hindu ideology?
I've looked in a little bit, but not too much. I've never heard Atman before.
I don't know a whole lot about it, but in that simple analogy from Atman versus Brahman, that Atman is the individual soul and Brahman is the world soul.
Huh.
And like that, all consciousness, all living things are all in part of a network in the world soul, and that we're all kind of like going through life. It's like there's a game that we've created where we go in life and amnesia, and it's a learning experience that we return to the source.
I think a lot of Western people get scared by those kind of ideas. It's the same kind of stuff in Buddhism too, dissipating into nirvana and losing your. It's scary because it's like losing your Western identity, But it's also scary because to Christians, because that's like that personal relationship to God that they claim seems to be dissipated through that idea, but. That idea, I would argue, is somewhat in the Bible. In the New Testament, it says something like, I believe it's in John, it says something like,
They're all one, kind of a thing.
I and the Father are one, and so shall you be one with us, or me. I'm paraphrasing horribly, but the idea there is that he's describing the Trinity, and he's saying that we will be part of that Trinity, not in some different way, but the way I read it, it says that you will be part of that Trinity as they are part of the Trinity. So that you can look at that one way as that.
You see, everything is interconnected.
Yeah.
And everything's dependent on everything else, and and then just the fact that no one knows what happens when we die. Obviously, I would argue as far as nobody knows for certain what happens. When lights go out. Because nobody's here that's there. They've had near-death experiences and that sort of thing.
It's 4:45.
I'm melting, you guys.
It's hot. Wow, you're melting, man.
I'm the Wicked Witch right now.
Awesome. Hey, this is a great conversation, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate you taking the time. I think we're ready to
Definitely.
keep up the good work, man. I'll definitely check you out and stay in communication.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Are you predominantly kind of fixated in the Northwest, or you kind of move wherever stuff's happening?
I'm located in the Northwest, and that's where I'm keeping it right now for people trying to come at me. I'm not gonna detail where I'm from in the Northwest, But I'm focused right now around the Portland riots.
Out of town or whatnot, but like Northwest. Like my brand is Stumptown Matters, and Stumptown is the.
Yeah, I know the story about how they had a boom town in Portland, Oregon, and they cut down the forest really fast, and they didn't have time. They were so busy they didn't cut the stumps out.
Yeah.
So it was a whole city of stumps. So that's why it's Stumptown.
That's the bullseye. Occasionally I go down to Salem, I go up to Seattle. Haven't really ventured out. I try to keep it whole things Portland when I do my stuff. So cool. Awesome. Yeah, keep up the good work, man.
Right on, man.
Be safe tonight if you go out there.
So stumptown.matters@gmail.com.
Yes, sir.
What was your?
Common Sense Conservative.
How do I contact you?
You can do it on there or Quincy Anatello.
So is it commonsenseconservative.com?
No, YouTube.
Oh, YouTube. Okay, Common Sense Conservative on YouTube. Okay.
There's a Facebook page of Common Sense Conservative.
Facebook page. I'll probably reach out to you on Facebook page and try to contact you.
Yeah.
Do you have an email on one of those?
I don't know it right off the top of my head.
Okay. All right. I'll search you and try to. I'm sure I'll be able to find it. Thanks for the conversation.
Yeah, no doubt, man.
So.
Take it easy. Hydrate.
Yeah.
Please.
See ya. What are you up to, Hot Dog Andy?
Shoot, I'm probably up to the JC.
Yeah. I'm low on water. I think I need to head to 7-Eleven and get some water.
That first actually give me a hydrate.
Oh, that was a fun conversation.
Yeah, you guys had an excellent conversation, man.
Yeah.
I like hearing those kind of conversations. I'm not too knowledgeable on a lot of those sides, so it's always good to hear.
I'm
back and forth.
I don't know how knowledgeable I am. I'm probably more neurotical. So I just think about these stuff.
Which way? This way? That way?
Let's go this way. It looks easier.
This way probably quicker.
Yeah. What street is this? Columbia? All right. So you guys just are still in here. Can somebody tell me how many people are in the chat and Facebook and Twitch so I know who I'm talking to? $94 in Twitch. 108 Twitch, 25 in Facebook. Hey guys, so we just finished up, had a really long conversation after the Organs for Peace Assembly at the waterfront. That was something right up my alley. Pretty much everything everybody was saying was conversation. Talk to the people that you disagree with and build a dialogue and build connection. And then after that, we had a little circle of 4 streamers, all pointed at each other, having a conversation for well over an hour, I think.
Yeah, wow, for sure.
And then, so now I'm with Hot Dog Andy, Portland Andy. I met up with him today. I've heard a lot from his chat shouting me out and my chat shouting him out. And we're gonna head over to, I guess 7-Eleven's the closest place.
Yeah.
And we're gonna go get some water, get hydrated. It is hot today, and I am in full black block. I actually might, I don't know, we might be comparable because I don't have any skin exposed. It's like getting the sunlight directly on it, you know?
True.
But I'm sweating like a dog though. I'm wet. So I'll look at the chat for a second while I'm walking up this block. And just to let you guys know, let me get I'll step away from you so I can do your spiel and I'll do my spiel. So Facebook, I cannot read the chat in there, but I'll check it out later at the end of the day. Twitch, I just want to go over my guidelines for the chat room again. So I don't want to censor, like I want to stay away from censoring, but there are some mods in there that I've asked to do some certain things. I'm going to add some more mods, but no spamming and no threats to me or anyone, no targeted harassment. And I'm trying to keep this a free speech zone so that diverse opinions and ideas can be shared. But typically those places turn into right-wing speech zones, and there's only one opinion in there because for 2 reasons. The right tends to flock to those places because there's so few of them because they get censored and blocked. And the other reason is that everybody that's not far right or right leaves those places because the right talks so nasty when they use their speech. So I just ask that you respect each other, use your free speech, express your ideas. We are going to err on the side of being ineloquent and crass and maybe offensive sometimes in this room versus censoring and losing the dialogue. But I just ask you guys, treat each other the way you want to be treated. Respect each other when you talk. Don't try to own people. Don't try to slander people. Don't try to push your views on everybody. Just talk and share your points of views. So I'd like to keep this place hey guys, I'm all dressed in black block, so normal people are scared when they see me coming up. So so I try to say hi to them to let them know I'm not just gonna come hurt them. So for those of you that don't know, that are following me, this is Portland Andy. He's been streaming for a long time. He's very well known. He's the Hot Dog Man. And our chats have both been calling each other out because we both are kind of free speech people. And so we met up today at the Waterfront Assembly. So we're gonna go get some water and then go check out the Justice Center and see what's going on. So I'll look at the Twitch chat here for a second. You wanna go down third?
Do third, yeah.
All right. It is early for the normal nightly events that someone's asking in the chat, but there was an event earlier in the day, so that brings people out earlier, and it's also Sunday, so some people might be around the Justice Center. There was also a group of instigative black bloc at the rally at the end of it, and they might be around, so who knows, we'll see what we see. Thank you, someone's saying great combo. Still shadow banned. Yeah. So for you guys that don't know what shadow banned is, social media platforms tend to be very left-leaning, and then when conservative opinions happen or expressed, a lot of those people are blocked, censored, removed from platforms. And a lot of times there's this thing called shadow banning where there's no official block, but you just kind of disappear from search engines. People that are following you have a list of followers, and somehow you aren't in that list anymore. When you go live or you post a video, that might not show up in everybody's chat to some extent. The other day I noticed like a 15-minute interval where I was looking at Twitter, and I went back to Twitter, and then there was like 50 less followers. Now granted, some people are going to look through my stuff and decide they don't like me, but 15 minutes, loss of 50 followers out of like, I've got somewhere between 800 and 900 right now, so that doesn't seem organic to me. And there have been many people over the last several years that have mentioned that kind of thing too. There was a guy that I would consider good right, good in the right, if not far right, Stefan Molyneux. I don't agree with everything he says. A lot of stuff I find offensive that he says. there's a puppet video of him where someone made a paper bag puppet, and they do his voice, his accent, and they kind of do his like blame your mother spiel that he does. It's pretty funny, but I do like some of the ideas put out. Anyways, about a week ago, he was removed. He lost his YouTube channel. I think he had around 1 million followers on there, subscribers. And then like a day or two later, he coincidentally lost his Twitter account. There are people claiming that there is possible evidence that he has been like using puppet accounts. They call it sock puppeting. So he'll have a second account and go into his own main account and like leave comments to try to bolster himself. I don't know if that's true or not, but there are a bunch of claims about that. But he had a very, very large following, so it's kind of shocking that he was removed from the platforms. But that it's happening more and more in the last couple of years. So anyways, a lot of my views are more on the conservative side. I do have some left-leaning views, but the first day of the riots in Portland, May 29th, I was posting some stuff on there and on Twitter, and I was getting people were seeing my tweets thousands of times, like thousands of people were looking at them. And like 2 or 3 days later, all of a sudden I was putting even better video out and things from the riots, and all of a sudden I was getting ones of views. So stuff like that doesn't seem organic. But I've also got some pretty viral videos that I've taken, and a lot of times they go viral on other people's platforms, but they don't go very viral on my platform. Like, I understand, the last that I looked at it, I posted a video of the woman that brought a baby to the riot last night, and within a couple minutes it started just getting like, share, and then a couple hours later, when I got back on the phone to go up to the event, I had only had like 24 likes or something. So all of a sudden that momentum stopped and it didn't make sense. But that video is also going viral on other places online outside of my platform. So that kind of stuff's weird. So with all that being said, if you like my stuff and you want to help me get it out, please like it, share it on your platforms. If some of my stuff you like it, but you don't want to put it, if it's too spicy to share with your friends, just put a note on top, put a little message that says, don't necessarily agree with everything, but I think this guy might have something to say. You might listen to some of it, That's what I do when I share stuff. Like, I shared Stefan Molyneux stuff before, and I'll say, man, take this with a grain of salt. This guy's got some intense views, but it doesn't mean all his views are evil.
Dude, that baby was intense, dude. I can't believe they had a baby.
Dude.
I was watching, I'm like, what in the F, dude? This is crazy.
Yeah. I even walk up to him, and they're like, well, this baby has a right to be here, right? And I was like, no, no.
Not the chemicals.
You crazy people. I was just worried that if somebody in the crowd provoked the police and they didn't know the baby was there and they came running out, he would maybe get trampled.
Yeah.
So 7-Eleven right over here. Yeah, that was disturbing, man.
Yeah, I don't. Sweet ass bed.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious if that footage of that baby will get picked up on mainstream media. I've heard from a source or two that it had been sent to Tucker Carlson. I don't know if that means anything, and I'm not saying that I'm a Tucker Carlson guy or not, but it'd be interesting if he throws that up in his thing. Hey, can we turn around for a second? So, I'm kind of conversated out right now. I met that guy earlier, and I do want to meet up with him and talk again right now. Mm-hmm. But I don't think I have another conversation with me at the moment. So I'm gonna wait till they walk around the corner so I can get some water and.
Yeah.
Not that I guess I'm ducking him, but not because I don't like him, just because I can't talk right now. I'm so thirsty. All right. Oh, he's still up there. Maybe we'll just duck by him real quick, Yeah, this gentleman up here came up to me at the assembly earlier, the Organs for Peace, and we talked a little bit. He gave me his information, and we're gonna meet up later and talk again. I really want to talk to him. As I said, my mouth is so cotton mouth right now. I need to drink like a gallon of water. Hey, pupper. I'm gonna go to 7-Eleven. I'll just respectfully film the ground. I don't care. I don't know what Andy does, but I don't like to film in businesses. Hey, we'll go get some water. Oh. So I think one time somebody was mentioning in my chat that like how polite I am because I say hello to everybody. Yeah, I try to be polite, but I'm trying not to scare people because I'm dressed in black bloc. You know, my face is all covered, so just trying to make myself a little bit more human so I don't spook people.
Oh, I gotta get the good one, right?
Yeah, I think I'm good on food right now. Maybe I will get it. Chicken sandwich, I'm gonna do that. Throw that in my bag for eat it in a little bit.
So you just started streaming because of what's going on?
Yeah, I started documenting because of this. The first night of the riot was when I started recording.
Oh, wow.
And then I started putting social media platforms together to do this, and then I started streaming like a week ago. Can I have a chicken sandwich, please?
What a cool way to get introduced.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get right into it.
So I'm kind of trying to learn everything on the fly. I have a lot of glitches going on, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
How much do I owe? It says $249 on here.
$249, yeah. On the chicken sandwich too?
Yeah.
Okay, my bad. I didn't. 198, thank you.
$5. All right, thank you. You guys, if you're watching in, I'm just trying to get some water at 7-Eleven. I'll be back up in just a moment. Having some issues with my cord here.
Oh, my mask. I got my mask. You're right, guy. I totally forgot about the mask situation. I was like, oh.
A COVID mask or a hiding mask?
Yeah, I didn't have my mask when I went inside. You're supposed to wear them inside, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
It's the law.
Yeah, I don't like that stuff. I'm gonna sit down and get my water situation centered here, you guys.
Time to relax.
So we're out here downtown outside of 7-Eleven. Just got some water. I'm gonna fill up my water bottle and drink some water real quick. And try to stop being so boring.
There's 473 in chat right now? Oh my goodness. What's up, chat? I'm trying to read what it says here. 100% dead. I'm thinking the same. It's 40 years old and missing. I'm thinking the same. It's like,
The water is good.
It's not over here, like you know it's over here. Well, it's not gonna take long, dude. It was on the grill. I know that's why I'm going back.
All right, you want to go over to the Justice Center?
Sure.
Yeah, kind of want to sit down on a bench for a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. I'll sit
How you down. Doing, man?
Does Barry any weed?
I don't do drugs, man.
Actually, pot's not a drug.
Oh, is pot's not a drug?
Pot's not a drug.
Oh yeah, well I don't do pots.
Nobody go to the shit that's going on tonight?
I'm not going to. He might be out there tonight.
What you say?
You gonna be out there tonight?
Well, I'm not sure.
They haven't been aggressive.
Yesterday it was
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
I seen
I'm live streaming right now, just to let you know.
I seen them military trucks coming out there, right? So
They've got the U.S. Marshals there, and the riot cops were out last night, yeah.
So they've been pushing back hard, or they just been
Last night it was a little bit more aggressive than some
'cause
nights.
I was over here like 3 days ago before like it got super chaotic, so I was just wondering, like I might be back out here tonight. So.
Yeah, I think tonight might be pretty intense from what I'm hearing.
Be
Yeah.
careful, man. Y'all be careful.
If you're out here,
Thanks, man.
Be safe, all
Yeah.
right?
Alright, yep, I appreciate y'all.
So, to my Twitch chat right now, just so I can see who's in there. I'm gonna throw up a couple more mods today. But do I have any mods in the chat right now?
The good old question. Do I got
Yeah.
mods?
So NJ's in there. Man, you're a trooper, dude. Thank you. NJ, are you able to set mods, or do I have to do that? Can you assign somebody as a mod? You have to, okay. Probably dip out here in a minute and add 1 or 2 people in. I don't know if they're in the chat right now. Hey, Image, I think 001 off the top of my head. Are you in here right now? Where you want to chill out for a minute? Right here?
Right here's good, yeah.
Okay.
I don't try to go too close to any aggressors.
Oh yeah.
They don't like me too much.
They definitely don't like me. All right, you guys, I'm going to shut down the chat for a minute. Nothing's really going on right now, but I'm going to go ahead and set some mods and attend to a few things. And then here shortly, I'll probably come back up. I might try to see if there's anybody to interview here in the park. There's not very many people here at all. There's no presence of activists other than the Rib Shack is over there, gearing up, I guess. But thank you for watching. I've hoped you enjoy the content this afternoon. So I'm going to sign out for at least 10 minutes or so, and then I'll come back online, okay?
Oh, yeah. Pretty chill. Wow. That one's...
Thanks, Texas.
We got a whole bunch of that.
Right ribs. Yep, it's a right rib shack. All right, guys. I'll talk to you in a little bit.